I am honored now to be joined by the chairman of the Republican National Committee, Mr. Michael Whatley. Michael, welcome to the show.
It's good to be on with you, sir.
Well, I got to tell you, there's a lot happening in our country. And as you know, we've got 17 days left of Joe Biden's presidency. And we've seen stuff with drones. We have no answers. We just had a horrific, terrible terrorist attack in New Orleans. We had a Cybertruck blow up outside of Donald Trump's hotel in Las Vegas. A lot of unrest in the country right now, Chairman. As we march toward January 20th, the inauguration, are you confident that things are going to calm down and be peaceful in the United States?
Well, I am very confident that on January 20th, as soon as Donald Trump gets into office, he's going to roll up his sleeves and he's going to go to work and he's going to fight for every American. And he's going to restore the southern border, rebuild our economy, keep our communities safe, and make sure that America is strong enough to protect our interests at home and abroad. And the American people voted for that, and they want to see this common sense agenda implemented.
You know, we're sending more money to Ukraine, and Joe Biden's doing a lot of things in his final hours to push his initiative through in the closing days here. Do you worry about things like China and Taiwan? Do you worry about what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, and obviously with Israel over there in Gaza, that there's going to be some moves by power players in the final moments here that will actually hurt Donald Trump as he comes into the Oval Office?
Well, more importantly, I think we expect, that when America is weak, the world is a more dangerous place. And, what we saw with the terror attack this weekend, in New Orleans, is because the FBI and the Department of Justice have been weaponized over the last 8 years to go after Donald Trump and his allies rather than keeping Americans safe. And right now we have threats all around the world that did not exist 4 years ago when Donald Trump was in office in his last term. So we have seen an emboldened Russia that invaded Ukraine, has flown bombers over Alaska, has parked a nuclear-capable missile boat in Havana, Cuba. What we've seen with China is saber rattling in Taiwan and all across the Pacific region, as well as cyber attacks that they've made, on the United States, including our Department of Treasury just last week. What we saw from Iran is now they've not just using their proxies, they're actually openly attacking Israel. And those proxies right now still have hostages, including American hostages, that better be released by the day that Donald Trump gets back into office. The world needs America to be a leader, and we need peace through strength right now. And so, yeah, I'm very worried about what's going to happen between now and the 20th because people do understand there's going to be a very real regime change here, and there's going to be a dramatic change, and America is going to have a much stronger forward-leaning, posture.
Kind of interesting. I just saw a report come across my desk that on January 10th, the judge has ordered the sentencing of Donald Trump up in the case up in New York State. And I guess it's a little bit of an odd thing. It's not the best look for the incoming president to be tied up in this court case just days before he takes the oath of office. Do you think that should have been somehow thrown out? And I understand that I do believe the judge said he could do this virtually, meaning he doesn't have to be in court physically, but he's technically facing up to 4 years in prison. Can anything negative happen 10 days before the inauguration with this sentencing?
Well, it certainly can, and this is a case that never should have been brought in the first place. This is a direct result of Joe Biden weaponizing the judicial system, both federal and state, a criminal and civilian, to go after Donald Trump and his allies. It is unprecedented in American history that we have seen a president directly use the judicial system to go after his political opponent, and it never can happen again. So this is the last gasp of that weaponization, and this judge needs to dismiss this case, and we need to be able to move on and get Donald Trump in office so that he can fight every day for the American people.
Well, I mean, respectfully, Chairman, it sounds like he's not dismissing the case. He did recently, within the last hour, release a statement calling on Donald Trump to sit for this sentencing. Do you think he could make any type of a crazy move, putting him in, probation, putting him in prison? I mean, this could potentially be a catastrophic fight just moments before he puts his right hand on that Bible.
Absolutely right. And I think it's absolutely appalling that this is the situation the president finds himself in here. And it really is, like I said, the last gasp of the weaponization of the judicial system. This judge needs to dismiss this case. If he won't, the Court of Appeals needs to dismiss this case. We need to restore, the judicial system to protecting American interests, not going after political opponents. This is truly one of the most appalling instances of judicial abuse that we've ever seen in the country.
And by the way, I think you put the left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. I'm not going to be sworn in as president anytime soon. I don't have to worry about that. Speaking to Chairman of the Republican National Committee, Michael Whatley. So, Michael, you preach unity within your party, within the Republican Party, within the GOP. You always talk about unity. I've seen a lot of your interviews in the press. So my question is this. Within the Republican Party, more specifically, and you know what I mean here, the MAGA wing of the party, we've seen a little divide over the last couple of days regarding this H-1B visa. So the Steve Bannon part versus the Vivek and Elon Musk, do you worry that this is foreshadowing to come? Because the truth is, there's a lot of powerful people, Tulsi, RFK, Elon. All of these people aren't necessarily on the same page here. Could this be some foreshadowing to a potential problem in the future for Donald Trump?
Not at all. I think this is a very healthy process. I think what we're seeing is public policy discussions that are taking place. Probably would prefer them to be a little bit more behind closed doors than out in the Twitterverse. But the fact is, that the Republicans are a wide, diverse coalition. Donald Trump has brought people into the Republican Party that have never been there. People like Tulsi Gabbard, people like RFK Jr. and Elon Musk, right? This is a common sense coalition. And any time that you're going to be really, truly affecting change in the country like this, you're going to have discussions about the contours of it. I think that right now the Republican Party is more united than it has been in generations. And I think that, we're very happy that we got Speaker Johnson elected on the first vote today. I was over at the Capitol, had an opportunity to be in the Speaker's gallery and see, that vote take place. And I'm very excited about that. But right now we have the trifecta. We've got a Republican president, a Republican House, and a Republican Senate. But more importantly, we have one agenda. It is the America First agenda. Donald Trump campaigned relentlessly on restoring our southern border, rebuilding our economy, keeping our communities safe, and making sure that America is going to be strong enough to protect our interests and allies around the world. That's what Congress is going to be moving forward. That's what the administration is going to be moving forward. Is it all going to be pretty? No. We're not a kumbaya party. We are a party of fighters. And so, I fully expect that we're going to have, open and vigorous debate on policy issues. And I think it's very healthy.
Chairman Whatley, you know the politician Donald Trump, but more importantly, my question goes to this. You know the man Donald Trump on a more personal level. We have a man here that has survived 2 assassination attempts. We have a man here that has been given a mandate by the American people, not only winning all 7 swing states, but of course winning the popular vote. What type of man are we getting as a second-term president in Donald Trump versus the first time around?
Well, I think you're getting a guy who has been changed by what has happened over the course of the last 4 years, and certainly by the assassination attempts that he suffered, that came at him over the course of this election cycle. And really, truly, when you survive an attack like he did, it is a cause for you to step back and reflect. Why am I doing this? You're talking about a guy who has a beautiful family. He's got an amazing business career behind him. He has an absolutely fantastic life. He does not need this. And the reason that he has stepped up to fight and go through all of this over the course of 2 different election cycles is because he loves this country, and he's going to fight every single day for the American people. So I think, what you see is what you get with Donald Trump. You see a guy who is relentless. You see a guy that is a perfectionist. You see a guy who is the best ever at hiring really, really good people and bringing together really good people to unify around a cause and to go out there and fight for the American people. And his administration, you're seeing it now. Look at the senior White House staff positions that he's filled. Look at the appointments that he's announced he's going to be making to the cabinet. And you can see he believes people are policy, and he's bringing in the right people to implement this agenda.
Chairman, something we've been talking about a lot on this program is the red, white, and blue. And there's a flag right now above me, and we all love this country. And I can hear your enthusiasm for your party, but the truth is we have 50% of the country that are not Republicans and that are independents and liberals. So we talk about unity and bringing the country together. Do you truly believe this time in his final term that Donald Trump can somehow bring all Americans together, get everybody on the same page regarding the border, everybody on the same page regarding ending foreign wars, everybody on the same page regarding reducing inflation? Can this man once and for all unify America and stop all the bullshit?
Well, I think he has a unique opportunity, really, truly, because of what happened with him losing the election. We went through the last 4 years. Now we came back to this election. The American people truly understand that elections have consequences. And I'll tell you this, there were 2 speeches in the House chamber today, one of which is going to get a lot of attention by Speaker Johnson, and rightly so. But the other speech was by Hakeem Jeffries. And what Hakeem Jeffries talked about was restoring the southern border and bringing down costs for American families and consumers. That is exactly what Donald Trump said he's going to do on day one as soon as he gets into the White House. Hakeem Jeffries said he was going to bring down energy prices and work with Donald Trump to get that done. If he is going to be a man of his word and he's going to follow up on what he spoke about on the House floor today, then I'm very optimistic that we're going to be able to find common ground and work in a bipartisan manner. But at the same time, this is an American mandate. And if the Congress does not act accordingly, then there are going to be ramifications and people are going to be upset. You know, I can tell you this, right? Donald Trump has been very clear since day one what he's going to do as the president of the United States. And the American people stood up and voted for him. And you're right. It was a very narrow election in North Carolina, in Georgia, in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, in Minnesota, in Michigan, in Arizona, in Nevada, right? But Donald Trump won all 7 of our key battleground states because, you know, those states wanted to go in a different direction. I'm really optimistic. I'm really excited about what's going to happen on January 20th.
Chairman, it's been an honor to have you on the show today. And I must say, you know, I know you're a North Carolina guy, and amongst your various degrees in education, one of those is from Notre Dame. So I wish you the best of luck in the college football playoff. I'm sure you're watching your Fighting Irish there.
Very, very excited about it. Big game against Georgia last night, and we're looking forward to beating Penn State in the Orange Bowl.
There he is, Chairman of the Republican National Committee, Michael Whatley. My name is Billy Harfosh, broadcasting from Scottsdale, Arizona, Star Worldwide Networks. We'll be back with more explosive interviews.